Introduction of Basic Clothing.
Hello everyone, I am Charlene Alda from BTB TED 3101. Did you guys miss me? Are you guys ready to discover and learn? So for today, I will discuss the information about basic clothing production or GFD 312. Before I start, I want to inform you guys that the topic we discuss in this subject is clothing. We also discuss the textile, the apparel manufacturer, some manufacturer in the Philippines. Also, we discuss the production layout, also the production concept in clothing, the humidity and molds, which is, I know that you all are familiar with this. According to anthropologists, there is no information about when the human started using clothes. However, some records says that humans started wearing clothes about 1 million years ago. Clothing, also known as clothes, apparel, and attire, is item worn on our body. It is typically made of fabric or textile, but over the time has included fabric or textile is made from garments, animal skin, and other thin sheets of materials put together. Wearing of clothes is restricted to human being, and it is a feature of all human societies. The amount of type of clothing worn depends on gender, body type, and social or geographic consideration. Clothing is important because it reflects an individual's culture, personality, and preferences. People can use clothing to enhance personal appearance and protect the body from extreme temperature and elements in various climates. It's amazing, right? Also, concerning in all origin, there are 4 major theories in clothing. These are modesty theory, immodesty, adornment, and projection theory. So when we say modesty theory, it comes from the Latin word modestus, which means keeping within measure. The next one is immodesty theory, which means the sexual attraction theory. People first wore clothes in order to attract attention or secure private parts. The third one is adornment theory. Clothing begins in he or she desire to attract attention or secure premises, not necessarily of a direct sexual sort. Lastly, the projection theory. This theory is suggested clothes protect humans from elements, animals, or even supernatural forces. In addition, there are basic clothing which people wear: crepe white tee, little jacket, black dress, dark skinny jeans, bottom-up skirts. Some of are the basic or the example of clothing manufacturer. So we can say that there are pros and cons in clothing industry. So the pros in clothing industry is, and we can be an environmental friendly. The cons here is the clothing industry can also harm to the environment. Let's have a brief discussion about the production layout. So, production layout, there are 4, which are process layout, which means a process layout is wherein similar items are grouped together. The next one is the process layout. It is the ideal for companies that perform customs work and where the determined for each product is made. The next one is hybrid layout. This layout is combine all 3 traditional layouts considering product characteristic and capacity requirements. The last one is fixed position layouts. This means that a fixed position layout lets the product stay in one place while workers and machinery move to its needed. Let's move on and discuss the basic production layout format. I will choose one layout format and I will demonstrate it. The basic product layout format that I can demonstrate it to you is the process layout. When we say process layout, it is a process where similar items are grouped together. Process layout are ideal to companies that perform customs work and where the demand or perform each product is low. In this design, the layout of equipment and process in the workstations are distributed around the needs of the end product. Each station is given as sequences. When it is task completed, the workpiece is passed on the next workstation. The sequence for further assembly, it is important because the entire production process is integrated. Therefore, the possibility of stoppage of production at different stages of production is eliminated. So, smooth flow of production is ensured. I choose that because it is one of the best example and easy way on how to conduct a product layout in company or clothing industry. In this subject, there's a lot of learnings we have, especially in doing activities that might help every student, especially me, if we really understand the topic. Based on the previous discussion, our professor gave us activities that describe and explain what we understand. Through this, we can able to identify and reflect as part of clothing manufacturers. All learning and discussions on the class can able to recognize because after the lesson or the discussion, we understand it clearly. I realized that based on browsing my answer in every activity, I confidently understand all points in this subject. So, the first activity that we have done is defining the clothing manufacturers' pros. So, there's a lot of pros in manufacturers like eco-friendly and people are aware on the loving or caring the environment. Also, there's a lot of cons in clothing manufacturers. So, for example, is the company is not aware on eco-friendly, which they used materials in different resources, which is not good or can harm to environment. The second activity that we have done here in this subject is making a video presentation that implies the clothing history. I discussed the materials used by old. After that, they discovered to use animal skins and to make and to cover their body and to protect their body from other temperature. I also mentioned the history of silk, like recording ourselves about history of clothing and giving ways to improve productivity and garment production. When deciding, the objective should be clear and be defined. Some ethical issue also tackled in this that I am sure that through answering this question, I can apply it in my life. I learned that there's a lot of type of clothes that is mentioned by professional and expert based on the video we watch after the discussion about molds, about history of clothing, some ethical issues which is concerned in our environment. Those video clips will enhance our public speaking because we can express ourselves in reacting and speaking in verbal or even in this kind of situation. We learn and we discover something new and become a better version of ourselves. As a student who studied the course and subject, what do you think are the importance of knowing the ethical issue in fashion industry? What are the thoughts on preventing such ethical issues? As a student who studied this subject, I think the importance of knowing the ethical issues is fashion industry we can able to avoid bad habits and can help to encourage others to become an equal and avoid discrimination, child labor, and other activity that will harm to others. Through this, I am aware now that it should not in law but it should act it. In this subject, I learned a lot about clothing. This opportunity opened to us to become and inform on what we must do when we are in real life situation. And honestly, this is such a big help for everyone of us who are learner in this subject. I think this subject is indicated in your course. I think this subject indicated to our course because it is one of the root word to understand easily what our course is. It is the introduction of basic clothing production, which is obviously connected to our major course. Through this, we can enlighten and inform about what we can encounter in reality. It is important to identify well the subject and clarify those questions in mind when we are not taking this subject. Through this, we can apply it, all the learnings we have gathered in the subject, we can apply it on our future. This subject is given the student the knowledge and skills which is equip future teacher and adequate and relevant competencies in this area.